In recent years, China's economy has continued to deteriorate. The unemployment rate remains high, and layoffs have swept across all walks of life. In first-tier cities such as Guangzhou and Shenzhen, which are relatively wealthy, a large number of unemployed young people are forced to sleep under bridges and live a hard life because they have no money to pay rent. Video footage shows a large number of unemployed young people living under a bridge in Guangdong. They have no fixed jobs and no money to pay rent. Sometimes they rely on picking up waste to sell for some money to eat. This is a large group of unemployed people living under bridges in Shenzhen. The netizen who filmed the video said that the economy will be worse next year and that there will be more unemployed young people here. The economy is not good, and it is difficult to find a job. In Huizhou, Guangdong, a 20-year-old young man who did not find a job sat on the overpass overnight. A kind passerby offered him a room to sleep, but he refused. Under the square of Shenzhen Longhua bus station, a large number of unemployed young people gather every day and sleep in the open air. The video publisher said that if outsiders come to film, they will be driven away or even beaten by these young people. In a park in Guangdong, several unemployed young people lived on park benches, but were driven away by policemen and were not allowed to stay. The trees in the park were still hung with the young people's spare clothes. On the streets of Shenzhen, a college student who graduated from a prestigious university was laid off by a large factory and was forced to sing on the street. The sad lyrics resonated with the audience, and they sang together, reflecting on the hardships faced by contemporary young people. Some netizens posted a video explaining why many young people choose to lie down. One joked that he also wanted to get married, but was originally 1 million yuan short of buying a house. After working hard for a year, he found that he was 1.5 million yuan short. He had no choice but to give up, and no longer wanted to marry or have children. Although it was a joke, it voiced the frustrations of many workers. Some netizens commented, "Yes, I can't manage it now, and I won't worry about it when I get old. It's useless. In the end, it's all for nothing." The video of a large number of unemployed young people living under the bridge attracted attention. Some netizens asked, "Where have all the Chinese government officials and the Ministry of Commerce gone? Why are so many young people unemployed? They are all good kids. At least they didn't break the law. If this continues, the country will be ruined." Beijing, Shanghai department stores. Close in 3 months, Chinese youth cry in the streets because of unemployment and deadlock.
In China, the rise in homelessness is evident. People lack basic necessities like a home or even a dream for the future. Surviving each day becomes the primary goal, highlighting the dire situation many face. The economy is in shambles, with businesses struggling and factories closing down. This downturn leads to a decrease in purchasing power and a wave of bankruptcies across various sectors, including retail and real estate. Amidst this turmoil, individuals find themselves without a stable income, resorting to temporary jobs just to make ends meet. The term skilled individuals is used mockingly to describe those who wander the streets in search of work. These individuals, often without a fixed address, perpetuate a cycle of poverty, unable to escape the downward spiral. For those living on the streets, life is a constant struggle. They work sporadically, spending what little they earn on basic necessities like food and shelter. Many have been away from their families for years, unable to afford the journey home. They exist in a state of aimless drift, with no plans or dreams for the future. The government's neglect exacerbates the situation, leaving these individuals to fend for themselves. Some have resorted to selling their IDs to obtain loans, further trapping them in a cycle of debt. Despite their resilience, the lack of support and opportunities pushes them deeper into despair. How dire is the situation for businesses in the city? Let's examine the state of shopping malls in Shanghai. It's strikingly deserted in this vast mall. The only occupants are the sales staff. This image of a Shanghai shopping center was captured by a delivery person. There's a distinct lack of consumer activity. Not only is foot traffic virtually non-existent, but numerous products are also being offered at discounted prices, and the whereabouts of store attendants are uncertain. Even apparel and shoe stores are devoid of patrons. The individuals behind the video, these potential customers, are simply not engaging in spending. Women's clothing sales have plummeted, indicating a diminishing female consumer base. Consequently, the male consumer demographic is even further diminished. A prominent brand outlet sits vacant. Even dining establishments are reliant on sporadic takeout orders. Additionally, there are several storefronts available for rent, with owners hoping to recoup losses and stem financial hemorrhage. Retail activity in Shanghai is on a decline. Video footage from the CCF Shanghai International Daily Necessities Spring Fair shows a noticeable lack of visitors and buying activity. Even the once vibrant 818 Plaza on Ning West Road is now empty, with ground floor shops abandoned. This is surprising considering its prime location near the bustling Miaoming North Road pedestrian street and opposite the famous Guangzhou Hongyi Automobiles flagship showroom. Some remnants of Hongyi logos can still be seen on the walls. Hongyi, an electric vehicle brand under the Evergrande Group, faced challenges due to Ever's financial troubles and delays in Hyundai's production, leading to a bleak market outlook. Questions arise as to why such a prime location remains unoccupied. Additionally, all shops on the second and third floors of the mall are closed, with the fourth floor mostly vacant except for a hair salon. On a typical Thursday afternoon, salon employees are seen lingering in front of the store. The closure of department stores in Shanghai has raised concerns about the city's economic downturn. On February 5, 2024, Shanghai's iconic department store, Shanghai 600, announced its closure. Locals lament the changes in the retail landscape as other stores like Pacific Department Store, Plaza 66, and Oriental Department Store have also lost their former glory. Many shops have shut down following the pandemic, signaling the end of the bustling atmosphere in historic Shujiahu. Reports suggest that Shanghai 600's employees are being laid off, with owners and managers disappearing after settling final severance payments. Additionally, Giordano Ladies, a high-end women's clothing brand under the Hong Kong fashion group, closed its Shanghai Guangzhou Plaza store on March 26 after a decade of operation and several relocations. Shanghai's economy is struggling because foreign investment has decreased. A report by the Financial Times says that China, especially Shanghai, is not as appealing to foreign businesses anymore. This is because of strict policies like the zero-COVID rule and laws against espionage. As a result, many foreign companies have left. A recent survey by the American Chamber of Commerce in Shanghai, which has 325 member companies, shows that only 52% of them feel positive about their business future in China over the next 5 years. This is the lowest level of optimism since the survey started in 1999. Despite hopes for a better year in 2023, business confidence has actually gone down. Both local and foreign companies are reconsidering their investments in China. The decline in the department store industry is not just happening in Shanghai. In Beijing, the Contemporary Mall closed down in December 2023 after being open for 28 years. Located in a prime area near universities and business districts, the mall faced challenges due to changing consumer preferences. As a response, the old department store decided to undergo renovations. In the year 2024, there has been a notable increase in the closure of supermarkets, particularly affecting the traditional large-scale markets. This trend underscores the formidable obstacles confronting the industry: a sluggish economy resulting in reduced consumer spending, heightened competition from new market entrants, and established stores grappling to adapt to evolving consumer preferences. The retail sector in China has borne the brunt of the pandemic, compelling the shutdown of numerous long-standing department stores. In the year 2022 alone, more than 40 department stores ceased operations, with 27 of them having served customers for over a decade. Subsequently, in 2023, over 20 department stores shuttered due to various factors such as lease expirations, management issues, or strategic adjustments. Fast forward to the present, 2024 witnesses the announcement of closure by 10 more long-standing department stores, with 5 closing down entirely and 5 undergoing refurbishments or redevelopment. The primary drivers behind these closures are the expiry of leases and the operational strains experienced by these stores. Adding to the industry's challenges are the formidable presence of e-commerce platforms, presenting a significant obstacle to traditional brick-and-mortar stores. A report issued by China's Central Enterprise CICC in 2024 reveals that a staggering 86.3% of department stores identify insufficient consumer spending as their foremost challenge. Despite an 8.8% increase in overall sales in 2023, nearly 70% of these stores report that foot traffic has yet to return to pre-pandemic levels, largely attributed to the dismal sales performance in 2022 amidst the pandemic-induced economic downturn. The confluence of high unemployment and meager wages further exacerbates the situation, constraining consumer purchasing power. Data from CICC for the year 2022 underscores this predicament, revealing that a majority of the population earns monthly incomes below 5,000 yuan. Economist Zhang Xiaonong highlights the alarming trend of China's dwindling middle class and shrinking wealthy elite, as evidenced by the declining number of billionaires globally and the diminishing wealth of affluent families. Zhang Xiao's research unveils the stark reality of China's impoverished middle class, burdened by an average debt of 2 million yuan per household. With a staggering 84% of the population categorized as impoverished, the government's policies, predominantly focused on bolstering manufacturing and domestic demand, fail to address the pressing needs of the populace. This lopsided approach risks perpetuating a cycle of borrowing and debt repayment, further exacerbating the economic woes. Despite grappling with inflation, China grapples with deflationary pressures stemming from subdued consumer spending, further compounded by the reluctance of consumers to make purchases amid falling prices. This challenging economic landscape has profound implications for businesses, impeding their ability to move inventory and impacting factory operations. Commentator Yuan warns that China's economy teeters on the brink of crisis, cautioning against the government's insular decision-making approach. Without a comprehensive understanding of the prevailing economic realities, China risks facing widespread social unrest in the near future. In Longgan New District and Jingle New Village, the collapse of the economy is palpable. The once bustling streets now bear the scars of financial ruin, with homelessness on the rise. It's a harsh reality that many face, trapped in a cycle of despair with no way out. The human resources market has transformed into a magnet for low-wage laborers, drawing migrants from all corners. Many individuals with remarkable skills have gained recognition in the digital realm, despite facing challenges such as lacking ID cards, drowning in debt, and losing connection with their families. Inside the bustling Shanghai talent market, some individuals meticulously search for suitable factory positions, hoping to secure stable employment. Upon successful hiring, they are swiftly whisked away to their workplaces by waiting vehicles. However, outside the market's walls, a different scene unfolds. Young people linger, not seeking permanent employment but eagerly awaiting temporary job offers. Their preference for temporary work stems from the allure of daily pay, affording them the luxury to unwind and enjoy life for a few days after each paycheck. This mindset has distanced them from traditional societal norms, earning them the moniker of skilled individuals. They see this lifestyle as the epitome of living in the present moment, regardless of whether they indulge in extravagant seafood or opt for humble noodles. Feeling trapped and helpless, Tanji made a pivotal decision to embrace daily wage labor, drawn by its promise of flexibility and liberation from exploitation. For him and others like him, this new lifestyle feels like a breath of fresh air, allowing them to dictate when to work and when to unwind. After earning their daily wage, they indulge in simple pleasures, such as gaming in internet cafes, savoring cheap noodles, and seeking refuge in budget hostels that offer affordable accommodations and free Wi-Fi. However, when financial hardships loom large and there's no income in sight, some resort to selling their ID cards for cash, regardless of the consequences. It's a risky gamble, but for many, it's a last-ditch effort to survive in an unforgiving environment. Amidst it all, there are those like Tanji who jest about owning multiple companies under their ID card's name, a humorous nod to the resilience and resourcefulness of those navigating the harsh realities of life on the margins. As their finances dwindle, they find themselves resorting to extreme measures, seeking refuge in parks and enduring hunger until the next fleeting job opportunity presents itself. This perpetuates a relentless cycle of instability and suffering. Meanwhile, the Chinese Communist regime grapples with a multitude of crises, spanning political, economic, and social realms, leaving authorities feeling impotent in the face of pressing challenges. Economic revival in China stagnates, evidenced by a sharp downturn in growth across various sectors. Real estate markets languish, manufacturing output dwindles, and consumer spending remains lackluster, exacerbating an already dire unemployment situation. Residents like Mr. Lin in Fuzhou and Ms. Li in Fuan, Guangdong Province, bear witness to the collapse of China's real estate industry, where plummeting property values trap homeowners in financial turmoil. Ms. Li, once employed in a factory, now faces the harsh reality of unemployment and meager wages. In February of this year, Chinese Communist Party leader Xi Jinping's assertion of China's unparalleled resilience drew widespread ridicule, as independent commentator Kai Shannon derided the claim as disconnected from the harsh economic realities plaguing the nation. Amid capital flight and the collapse of private enterprises, reliance solely on state-owned entities for economic stability appears increasingly unsustainable. As purchasing power wanes and retail sectors reel from closures and bankruptcies, the strain on China's economy becomes unmistakably evident. A notable decline in consumer spending exacerbates the plight of department store operators, struggling to remain solvent. While online competition adds to their woes, it is the broader economic downturn and eroding consumer confidence that lie at the root of the problem. Taiwanese economic expert Heng Shikong warns of a prolonged period of subdued consumer activity, exacerbated by dwindling incomes and job uncertainty. As private consumption weakens, department stores face mounting pressure to shutter underperforming outlets, a trend indicative of the broader economic malaise plaguing the nation. In a recent announcement, the Xi'an department store in Miang Town, Shanghai, revealed its impending closure on June 30, leaving only one remaining store in the Chinese market, located in Ranhang, Tianjin. However, this closure is not an isolated incident. It mirrors a trend that has been unfolding in the department store and supermarket industry across China for several years now. While lease expirations are often cited as the immediate cause for closure announcements, the underlying reason stems from intense operational pressures. Reports indicate that Yui Supermarket, once a dominant player in the Chinese supermarket industry, has seen a significant reduction in its store count, from 1,440 stores in 2019 to just 998 presently, having closed 442 stores in nearly 4 years. Over the past 3 years, Yong's cumulative losses have exceeded 8 billion yuan. In a troubling development, the locally renowned Fuji supermarket in Chanta went bankrupt on April 2, prompting employee protests and chaotic scenes as citizens rushed to the store with shopping carts. This closure, along with others, is likely to exacerbate unemployment in China, thereby impacting social stability and employment rates. With China's economic drivers such as real estate and exports on a downward trajectory, the outlook for the economy appears grim, further compounded by diminishing purchasing power among residents. Shocking promotions, like the buy one get one free offer in the real estate market, reflect a desperate attempt to stimulate demand in an industry grappling with a deep freeze. Despite the government's efforts to revitalize the real estate market through various stimulus measures, including interest rate reductions and market support funds, the crisis persists. Chinese developers, including Evergrande, face mounting debt obligations and litigation, with tensions escalating towards courtroom battles and potential liquidation consequences. Amidst these economic challenges, internal factional disputes within the Chinese Communist Party have come to the forefront, fueled by Xi Jinping's consolidation of power. The emergence of factions led by figures like Kai Chi and Ling underscores the escalating power struggles within the CCP, contributing to widespread discontent and dissent among officials and party members alike. Moreover, dissent and secret preparations for uprisings persist in political and business circles, signaling a growing sense of unrest and uncertainty in China's political landscape. The signs of decline are evident, with the specter of civil unrest looming large, posing significant challenges for the country's stability and future direction.